Welcome back to Red Grange Field on the campus of Wheaton Warrenville South High School. Along with Coach Mark Lindo, I'm Jeff Pringle. It's homecoming here at Wheaton Warrenville South as they host the Red Hawks of Naperville Central. And let's take this time now to take a look at our starting lineups. The Red Hawks won the toss, and they will start off on offense. Their offense so well known behind not only Christian Pearson, DJ Johnson, but Joe Chirimbolo, who's tearing it up as a fullback. A big guy, 6'2", 225 pounds, averaging about 5 yards per carry. On the offensive line, a big, strong line for the Red Hawks, anchored by Kevin Keenan at 6'5", 260 pounds, only a junior. And this central offensive line will leave a lot of open holes for the running backs. Tiger defense will be led by not only Jim Dietz, but Brendan Ferrari, who's been stepping it up recently, a junior. He's had quite a few tackles in the last few weeks, and he, as his name says, a very quick young man to the football. Also Doug Rogers. Doug Rogers kind of lives in the shadow of Nate Kolbaba, but Rogers and Kolbaba both with 21 solo tackles on the season, and Rogers and Kolbaba will be looked at for most of the tackles here this evening.
You look at the two rosters, of course, Naperville Central highly ranked nationally in the preseason and basically a senior-oriented team. Wheaton Warrenville South not rebuilding, the old cliche reloading, and a lot of juniors sprinkled in with some veterans. Veterans showing good leadership to get them through that tough 0-2 start. But right now, I think they're ready to roll. And this is a big game on their homecoming night tonight.
It certainly is, as you mentioned. They started off 0-2, and Coach Thorne was asked recently if he had to rank his team on a 1 to 10 scale. He said at the beginning of the season they were about a -1, and they moved up to a +4. So, as always with Wheaton Warrenville South, with each week they improve. They learn a little bit more about the pieces of the puzzle and how to put things together. And certainly Naperville Central not going to have an easy ball game tonight.
Well, Wheaton South's going to show up. They're going to strap it up, and they'll hit some people hard here tonight. Naperville Central, a little bit more team speed, a little bit more strength up front, but I think Wheaton South will have an outstanding game plan to combat that. And again, the aerial attack is the one to watch for Wheaton South offensively.
It is an interesting matchup, as you said. The Red Hawks will be looking to force the Tigers to the ground, and the Tigers will be looking to force the Red Hawks to the air this evening.
Contrasting styles. You know, one thing about high school football, the adage is among coaches that it's really difficult to stop a good high school passing attack. The passing attacks in high school, because there aren't so many, people gauge their defense to stop the run. If you can throw the football, you're that much better off. There's no doubt about that. But the key is having time to throw the football.
Exactly. And that's one thing that both teams have actually added. Good offensive line, strong performances thus far. Here's Brad Klausing to start things off. A good kick fielded back at the 8-yard line. On the return is Chad Nafziger. He'll take it up the right side of the field. And that was Axelson on the return. He's wrapped up and brought down at the 28-yard line, and that's where Christian Pearson and the Red Hawks will start over.
Well, a good wedge bust, if you will, by Ryan Conway, number 34, normally a running back, 5'8", 191, a sophomore who makes a good solo tackle and keeps the Red Hawks inside their own 30 to start their first drive.
Will be interesting to see if the Red Hawks can set the tone immediately with a powerful 70-yard offensive drive. They can gobble up the yards with that running attack. Full house backfield right now. It's a pitch for Johnson right side. Johnson off to the races. He's got a little bit of room. He's taken down over at the 33-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of 5.
You work in second down and short like that. You can have go to anything in your playbook right there. Right away, they look to get to the perimeter. DJ Johnson shows his speed on the outside.
They've got such a lethal combination with Johnson, who's so quick, and Chirimbolo, who is so powerful and can pound you.
Great compliments to each other.
Absolutely. Second down and 4 from the 34 now. Christian Pearson, the quarterback, under center. Give to Johnson again. This time he'll dance off left side. Not much there. The Tigers stop him at the 36 for a gain of 2. I want to remind you that this and all Jones Space Link Game of the Weeks are brought to you in part by our good friends at Giordano's, located at 455 Roosevelt Road in Glen Ellen. Call up Nick Theodore at 790-1717 for the best pizza in the western suburbs.
Johnson lines up about 5-7 yards deep in his backfield, takes the quick handoff from his quarterback, Pearson Christian, and boom, Kolbaba right there to level, and he stands him right back up.
3rd and 2 now. Give to Johnson again on the right side. He's got first down yardage and then some. Finally wrapped up across inside Tiger territory and brought down at the 47.
Well, he gets that one for 18 yards right there. When he gets to the outside, he's dangerous. We talked about any single play, he can bust 60, 70 yards, and you got to wrap up, and you got to have 2 and 3 game tackles.
Take another look at this one. You see that quickness out of the backfield. Johnson, he just raised it another level, and finally coming over to make the stop was Doug Ost.
And once again, it was Sharon Bulow who was the lead blocker. That when you have a fullback that can block for you like that, you got to take him out to McDonald's a few times a week.
First down and 10 from the 48 now inside Tiger territory. Give this time is to Shirimbolo. He will run over some people down to the 44, a pickup of 4 yards.
Right now, Red Hawks kind of mixing, but he was able to just use his lower body strength, lower his head, and pick up some short yardage.
6'2" and 225 pounds is Shirimbolo. Second down and 5 from the 43. Wide out split left and right, I formation, Shirimbolo and Johnson. This time the give is to Johnson. He breaks the tackle, breaks another one from Ost. Now down inside to the 33-yard line. That'll be another first down and then some for the Red Hawks.
Gaping hole, about 11 yards on that one for Johnson. He gets him in a hurry, uses his right side, uses his left side. They're very diverse right now, trying to pick apart the Wheaton South defense and really kind of feeling things out where their point of attack is going to be.
Get another look at it here. You see that quickness once again. He runs over his own man, actually. Then picks up the first down. First and 10 from the 33. This time it's Shirimbolo. Cuts back across. Down past the 30 to the 27-yard line for a pickup of another 6. The Red Hawks are rolling right now, Coach.
Well, they've gone 5 yards, 18 yards, another 8, 3, 11, and another 6. So they're getting them out in big chunks right there. Average per gain got to be 8 or 9 yards per gain right now. Joe Bungie, whatever he's pulling out of his hat is magic right now from the offensive standpoint.
I tell you what, that's the kind of attack, too, that can wear you down to demoralize you, especially when they come out right off the bat.
Well, ball control is what football is all about.
Second and 4 from the 27. This time Pearson goes deep left side. And the ball falls incomplete. Looked like there might have been a little contact there. The intended receiver was Blake Allen.
Pearson Christian right there on a 3-step drop. He looked to his right, came back across to the left side on a little post corner, and his own man got tangled up a little bit by the defense, but incidental contact.
27. High formation again with Shirimbolo and Johnson. Pearson this time rolling out left, dumps it off on the right side, caught by Shirimbolo. He's taken down to the 26, or excuse me, about the 21-yard line. Well, he's got the first down and then some.
Pearson with a nice little roll out there, finds his man out in the flat, and they move the sticks once again. You see Shirimbolo look the ball in, then square his shoulders up, know where the sticks are at, and pick up another first down, the third in the drive.
Excuse me, they're down to the 18-yard line. First and 10. 8:20 to go in the first quarter. And the Red Hawks are just eating up the yardage and the clock. Missed tackle there from Nate Kolbaba, but there to back him up is number 13, Eric Aster.
Now, Kolbaba makes the initial hit, couldn't wrap up, but that's what good team defense is all about when you have another black shirt right there ready to make a good stop.
Kolbaba was highly touted coming into this season, being one of the few returners from a great defense last year. He has lived up to it. A great team leader as well, not only in his play, but his actions as well. Second down and 11 from the 19. Pearson back to pass, under pressure and wrapped up and taken down at the 19-yard line, right at the line of scrimmage.
Christian Pearson looked to his right, had nothing going, tried to roll to his left to buy some time. Good coverage by the DBs. The secondary did their job for Wheaton South, and Pearson very smartly tucked that ball underneath, and there was no turnover. Could have been a big play.
That was Matthew Schwartz who stepped up to take him down. A senior, 6 foot, 203 pounds. Third down and 11 now for the Red Hawks. First trouble they've run into. Pearson back to pass, throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Pass is a little too low, going to bring up a fourth down.
And Blake Allen on a crossing pattern. Christian Pearson had a 5-step drop across right the middle and just a little bit underthrown. Fourth down, a critical play right here for Naperville Central, obviously, after a very impressive drive led by DJ Johnson. They've gone to the air and come up empty. 7:06
to go in the first quarter. Thank you for joining us on our Jones Space Link Game of the Week, along with Naperville North head boys basketball coach Mark Lindo. I'm Jeff Pringle. And it looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down. Trips right, one receiver left. Pearson over the middle, ball's batted, and it's not picked off, but it's going to be Wheaton Warrenville South ball, and the Tigers bent for a while, but they didn't break, Coach. They came back with 3 tough downs to get the ball right back.
Naperville Central takes the opening kickoff at their own 28. They drive it down to the Wheaton Warrenville South 19-yard line, and from there they can't move the sticks again. That one was batted up in the air. I didn't catch the number who got it from Wheaton South. They will catch it on the replay right here, but a good 4-man rush by Wheaton South. Good drops in the secondary, and there's the tip.
Looked like Chirimbolo tried to get a hand on it, but couldn't. Gonna be 1st down and 10 from the 18 for the Tigers. Handoff up the middle. That's gonna be Ryan Conway. Conway, as we mentioned, only a sophomore, but he's been impressive in a couple of opportunities.
And that's we talked about the fact that Wheaton South would try to establish the run early just to keep Naperville Central honest. It'll be interesting to see how many people Joe Bungie brings early on if he's playing 5-man front right now.
As we said, that Red Hawk defense has been so stingy, allowing only 20 points on the season. Future back to pass, a familiar sight, and there's a familiar sight as well as it goes into the hands of John Schweigart on the receiving end at the 32-yard line, and that'll be a 1st down for the Tigers.
Pickup of 10 on the money. Future with a 3-step drop. He finds his receiver Schweigart right across the middle, open, found a seam behind the linebackers in front of the safety. Made a nice catch, turned upfield, knew where the sticks were, and the Tigers driving now.
And the thing you have to understand about that quarterback wide receiver combination, they've been doing that together since about 3rd grade. 1st down and 10 from the 33 for the Tigers. Throw backfield, Future hands off. And that's Conway with not much. Conway with some interesting socks on this evening. Trying to add a little flair. That's a gutsy move for a sophomore.
No doubt about that.
Trying to keep that tradition alive. Dwayne Zimmerman last year had the red shoes.
Conway 5'8", 190, so he's a chiseled young man. Good speed also, but more of a powerful type runner. Very big physique for just a sophomore. Wheaton South really spread it on this series.
2nd down and 8 from the 35. 3 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side, and Conway the lone setback. Future going to be under pressure. He's hit hard and sacked back at the 28.
Well, the person that put on all the pressure that time was Nick Fend, number 40 for Naperville Central. He didn't get the sack, but he's the one that turned the play and made Future come back in, where there were some white shirts getting some help.
Oh, go ahead, Coach.
I was just say we talked about the fact that they might bring linebackers. That time they brought the outside backer.
Yeah, they've got a rough group of linebackers out there. They are big and very physical. 3rd down and 14 now from the 29. Future over the middle, caught at the 30 and immediately taken down at the 33 on the reception. That was Matt Dorman. They didn't pick up much, and they'll be forced to punt.
Tried to set up a screen underneath. The screen was set up initially, about 3 black shirts out in front. They pulled a couple guards, but good pursuit by Naperville Central as once again the linebackers staying right at home, reading that screen well.
4:17 to go and counting in the 1st quarter. Back deep to receive for the Red Hawks, Nate Davis and Eric Axelson standing at their 24.
Red Hawks showing 9 people up front. They drop a couple people off.
Pretty good punt. Going to bounce at the 36. Takes a little bit of a Tiger roll and will be down at the 31, and that's where the Red Hawks will get it back.
35-yard punt, no return. So anytime you get 35 net yards, especially in high school football, you'll take that from the special team situation.
Absolutely. Got to see St. Charles last week, and they have a punter, Pat Durr, who has been booming them regularly over 50 yards.
That's incredible. Special teams, I think when they're 2 evenly matched teams, when they're 2 championship caliber programs like Naperville Central, Wheaton South, it might come down to field position. Not necessarily, an extra point or a field goal, but field position from the kicking game, whether it be punts or kickoffs.
Well, this is about where the Red Hawks started off last time. They drove almost the length of the field. DJ Johnson continuing to break tackles all the way up to the 50-yard line for a gain of 20.
He is just so exciting. Every time he touches a football, you just kind of hold your breath for just a second. He has unbelievable ability to make people miss as he gets great eyesight in the backfield. A good cutback block. He makes 1, 2, 3 people miss right there, gets it back in the open. It finally is the 5th black shirt that wraps him up. Unbelievable run by DJ Johnson. That's why he's a D1 prospect.
That's why a team stresses such quickness on defense. Joe Shurimbolo, talk about a contrast. He comes up and doesn't, no tricks about that, Ryan, just right over the middle, and he knocks people back. Johnson, he's so quick and he has such great moves that you need gang tackling every time. And the Tigers, how many arm tackles did we see there? Not because of bad form, they were just a little too slow on the response to the fakes thrown there by DJ.
And you know, you mentioned before about wrapping him up. You cannot simulate speed and quickness like that in practice. You can put, 11 and 12 men on the field, but you can't simulate that kind of speed and quickness.
Give this time again to Shurimbolo. He's still fighting all the way down at the 33-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 9 yards, easy a first down. It was 2nd down and 2. This will bring up 1st and 10 at the 33.
Just incredible contrasting styles of running. We talked about the fact they complement each other, but you got a big bruiser who uses his strength, his lower body drive, guts and determination, and a guy who just uses flat-out speed and quickness and just tries to burn you on the perimeter.
Yeah, they both know their roles, and they do them very well for Coach Bungie. This time it's Shurimbolo again. He stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Obama wraps up real nice right there. Excellent player who plays with a lot of enthusiasm. He considers himself a leader as a senior.
Comes from a very athletic family, a family you've probably seen
Dane
perform.
Kobaba, very nice pitcher for Wheaton South.
One thing I failed to mention, Coach is also coaching over there for Coach Lindo, also coaching for the baseball team as well. So
try to do a lot of things. Don't do any of them well, but have some fun trying.
You must be doing something right over there. Very successful basketball and baseball programs. Here's Pearson going deep, right side, has his man. Can't see it. And the pass is incomplete. It looked like it was right on the money.
He had his man in stride. That was number 7, John Adcock, a senior, who got his man to the outside. It was a little bit of a post corner. He caught the ball right at the pylon, but the back judge right on top of the play. As Pearson throws a nice ball to the outside, defender gets turned right around, but he did not get his feet in bounds. A good call by the official. Only 1 foot necessary in high school football.
Now you have Christian Pearson doesn't have to have too many opportunities to throw the football, but he's thrown some nice balls tonight. Here's another one deep for the end zone, and it's caught by DJ Johnson, or excuse me, rather Nick Tolbert for the touchdown. That's got to be nice. It looks like he just lofted that one under, and Tolbert run underneath it.
Tolbert, the post pattern, just split the seam right there, caught that ball in stride. Christian Pearson with an outstanding pass on that post pattern. A well-run route by Nick Tolbert. Boom, 33 yards on the board as they're celebrating on the Red Hawk sideline.
Look at the speed here by Tolbert. He was good coverage, and he just runs away from his man at the very last second there.
Basically beat and split double coverage.
Tell you what, Coach, that's scary when they have the running game they do and they can add the deep threat like that. Got a timeout called by Naperville Central. Take another look at this here in a moment. You can get another look at this touchdown from the ground angle.
5-step drop. He had plenty of time. That was the key. Christian Pearson stepped back up in the pocket, had some time, and put it right on the money. Anytime you hit a receiver in stride, that's enough to make yourself smile as a quarterback.
Absolutely, and it's good to see for Pearson because certainly his counterparts in the backfield have been getting a lot more press this year than he has. Doesn't have to throw that often. Such a powerful running game, but to see him step up and throw some nice passes there. Well, 1:32 to go in the first quarter. We've got timeout called, as we mentioned. 6-0 as the Red Hawks get their first score on about a 70-yard drive. See Coach Ron Muhich there talking to his soldiers on defense. Tiger defense always stressing quickness. That is their credo. There's no doubt about that. But Tolbert obviously has quickness that is hard to keep up with. Here's the extra point, and it's up and good from Adcock. John Adcock makes it 7-0. Well, Coach, the Red Hawks have shown that they can not only run the ball with the best of them, but Christian Pearson, just a well-thrown ball to start things off here, in the Tigers facing one of the best offenses they've seen in quite a long time, I'm sure.
His offensive line gave him plenty of time to deliver the football. They opened some gaping holes for DJ Johnson. Sharon Bulow with a couple bruising runs of his own. Of an impressive drive, 5 plays, 69 yards, 2 minutes and 18 seconds consumed on the scoreboard clock. Nick Talbert, a 33-yard scoring pass from Christian Pearson, 1:32 to go in quarter number 1. John Adcock's extra point puts Naperville Central in an early 7-0 lead.
Well, we'll take one more look at it here. Give you an idea just what a well-thrown ball this was. Pearson drops it right in his hands, and Tolbert just dancing in for the first score of the ball game.
The key is, from a defensive standpoint, we talked about no pressure. Wheaton South that time chose to drop their linebackers into coverage, and when you run a deep post pattern like that, the linebackers were not a factor at all. It was a fact that he beat both the free safety and the strong safety. He split those, and a well-thrown ball. He was really the only receiver in that pattern, and he was wide open.
Yep, great quickness, obviously, from Tolbert, and as we said, Pearson put it out there where no one other than Tolbert could get it. Tigers will get an opportunity to answer here. Not a bad kick fielded at the 5-yard line, taken to the 10, 15, 20. Wrapped up and taken down at about the 20-yard line is Chris Vasquez on the return. They're going to start it off at the 23-yard line, and the Tigers, who didn't show a whole lot on their first drive, they're going to want to answer quickly the way the Red Hawks have looked tonight offensively.
Well, they moved the sticks just one time. That was that 11-yard pickup from to Schweigert on their crossing pattern. I think right now, again, you'll see them come out and throw the football, but they need to get something on the ground. If they don't get 100, 150 ground yards tonight, they will not win the football game.
That backfield combination of Conway and Klausing, and again, this time it's Klausing, left side. Some good running up to almost to the 30-yard line, close, well, excuse me, rather up to about the 29-yard line for a gain of 6.
Brad Klausing gets to the outside at 5'8" and uses his speed a little bit, trying to rival DJ Johnson a little bit. Maybe not as quick, but just as effective with a nice, 7-yard pickup on first down, or 6 yards, I give him officially. But anytime, again, that you're second down and short, you can be very diverse in your offense. I'm sure John Thorne's thinking that right now, and they can put the ball back upstairs.
Got a player down on the field right now. Guessing it's one of the offensive linemen. I think they brought in a replacement.
Both the Wheaton South and Naperville Central training staffs involved in recognizing the injury. Always got to be careful about that. Athletic trainers do not diagnose, they recognize. They're careful to differentiate, because they know they cannot play doctor, but they can recognize different injuries. Right now they seem to be working on the knee. I still can't catch a number.
I don't know. The scary thing is the Tigers lost Jim Schuster early this season, one of their real leaders on the offensive line, one of the few returners. Schuster back after a bout with mono.
They thought that he might play half a ball game tonight. Looks like it's Kevin Bartz. He anchors the middle of their offensive line, center. 6'4", 236, big guy inside. Interior linemen keep getting bigger and bigger. 236 right now isn't as big as it used to be. I mean, now they're 270, 280 sometime, and everybody in NCAA Division I football is 300. Everybody in the NFL is 310, 320, and these people can still move.
It is amazing.
Bigger, stronger, faster, everybody.
Yep, and they're starting at a younger and younger age these days.
Well, don't believe for a minute that the 100 or so athletes you see dressed in white and black on each side don't spend countless hours lifting iron all summer long, all fall long, all spring long.
We're down to under a minute to go in the first quarter. It's 2nd down and 4 from the 30. Butcher back to pass, has time, dumps it over the middle. There's Schweigert on the reception at the 35, breaks the tackle to the 40 and down to the 45-yard line. The clock will stop with 44.9 seconds to go in the first.
Great play selection that time by John Thor and his staff. What they did is they cleared out a zone deep on the left side. They cleared out a zone deep on the right side, and they brought Schweiger underneath. The sign of a great receiver, not only his ability to catch the football, but make plays after the catch. He caught that ball at about the 38-yard line, got himself about 7 or 8 extra yards after the catch by using his athleticism on the perimeter.
Well, that's what they say about this guy. Not only does he have great hands, almost never dropping the ball, but he's got good quickness, good sense for the game. First down and 10 from the 46. Butcher under pressure, makes a miss. Now he's going to take it himself up to the 47-yard line. Clock stops at 17.3.
Well, they brought Tim B from the cornerback position that time, number 5, who had a pretty clean shot at Butcher. Butcher, with a presence of mind that sixth sense a quarterback has to step up. He knew that B was coming from the backside. He stepped up, made B miss him, and makes a 5 or 6 yard loss, turns it into a 2 or 3 yard gain.
Butcher, a tall, lanky guy, certainly a contrast to Tim Brilka last season. Brilka was short but very quick, a phenomenal runner, just like having another running back back there. A great arm as well. Butcher, taller, thinner. He's got a gun of an arm, but you can see maybe not quite as used to running the ball out of the backfield. Second down and 8 from the 48. He goes deep and throws it away.
You know, that passing combination, you think of Tim Lester back there. You mentioned Broca. You think of Casey Kloss back there. And these guys are going to be together. You said since 3rd grade they started. They're going to be together a whole nother year. I think they're just going to put up incredible high school numbers between this year and next.
Well, you talk about the numbers they have through just 4 ball games. 11 touchdowns thrown by John Butcher, just 4 interceptions. About 700, close to 700 yards.
How about Schweiger? 8 touchdown catches as a junior in 4 games. I mean, that's unheard of.
Yeah, these are great season totals.
Yeah, that's career totals.
12.1 seconds to go in the 3rd, and this time Schweigart not looking as the ball is delivered, and Butcher under more and more pressure, it seems, with every down.
And there was lack of communication on that play. There was a lack of communication between Butcher and Schweigart, because Schweigart was running a deeper route. Butcher, with a timing pattern, delivered the ball, and again, lack of communication. They'll talk about that when they come over to the sideline.
You know, Coach Thorne has had to rearrange his playbook this year. This is a much different type of offense that he's had here. There, you're going to look at Coach Thorne, but he has adapted, certainly. He's used to having those powerful running backs back there, great quickness.
Kelly Crosby comes to mind right away.
Oh yeah, there's another guy you probably were seeing in your nightmares as a baseball coach over at Naperville.
What a great athlete.
High snap, not a bad punt, however, going to bounce at the 24-yard line. Takes a tiger roll, and they'll stop it down at the 15. That's where the Red Hawks will get it back to start up the 2nd quarter. Time has expired here. The Red Hawks had a powerful drive. It's 7-0. We'll be back with the 2nd quarter right after this. Well, the Red Hawks running on first down. Not a whole lot there. Welcome back to Red Grange Field in Warrenville, Illinois, on the campus of Wheaton Warrenville South High School, along with Naperville North head boys basketball coach Mark Lindo. I'm Jeff Pringle.
Naperville Central 5 first downs to just 2 for Wheaton South in the 1st quarter, but they enjoy that 7-0 lead, mostly because they were able to convert on 3 out of 3 third down conversions.
Give this time to DJ Johnson, and he's tripped up back behind the line of scrimmage. It was a 2nd down and 5 situation. I'll bring up about a 3rd down and 6.
No seam that time, DJ Johnson. All he needs is that split second, that very small seam to get through. Nothing going that time. Is good wrap-up. Wheaton South basically staying in a 52 defense, but they are bringing up an extra corner sometime and making it a 53 look, and actually bringing 8 people at the line of scrimmage for Christian Pearson to look over.
Well, it's got to scare Coach Ron Muhich when he basically sells out for the run, and he knows Pearson now can throw the ball effectively. And here he tries to do that over the middle, just in and out of the arms of his intended receiver. That was number 81, Jay Wilkie.
So that's the first time that Naperville Central does go 3 and out. This punt will take place from right around the 10 to 12 yard line. Wheaton Warrenville South will definitely get their best field position of the day, as Brian Scherstein, number 1, is going to get back, and he's going to be the one that looks to run back this punt and give John Thorne that field position that he so desperately needs right now against this vaunted Naperville Central defense. You can't say enough about these guys.
They are big and strong. Here's a high snap, but a good kick. Schnurstein will take it at the 46. Crosses the 50 and is gang tackled at the 47-yard line. On the kick was Dan Kopp. The Tigers will get it back at the 47-yard line just a minute and a half into the second quarter.
35-yard punt, 7-yard return, and yes, indeed, they did get it right inside the 50.
Well, we apologize. A bit of a mental error on our part. We missed the offensive starters for Wheaton Warrenville South, as well as the defensive starters for Naperville Central. Let's take a look at after this play, we'll take a look at the starters for both those squads. First and 10 from the 48 for John Butcher. Hand off to Klausing. Not a whole lot there. Let's take a look at those Tiger offensive starters. Once again, we apologize for being just about a quarter late on that, but as you see, John Schweiger, we talked about him. 11 touchdown passes from John Butcher. 8 of them have gone to this young man, John Schweiger. Tiger offensive line, Jim Schuster coming back from a bout with mono. Good to have him back in there anchoring the offensive line. For the Red Hawk defense, well, there's too many stars in there to highlight them all, but we picked Walter Bucky. He's a great compliment to Joe Chirimbolo and the linebackers. Here's another handoff for Ryan Conway. I'll take a look at the rest of that Red Hawk defense. Bucky at 6'2", 215, along with Chirimbolo at 6'2", 225. Big, strong, and quick are these guys as linebackers. And the Red Hawk defensive secondary, as we said, only allowing 45 yards per game passing. DJ Johnson, and basically outstanding, an all-star. Eric Axelson, strong as well. Nathan Davis. So it's hard to pick a star out of there. It's hard to find an open area to pass. The Tigers will have to find offense on the ground as well as through the air this evening.
3rd and 5, and they're choosing just to rush 4 right now, so there are 7 people in pass coverage here for Joe Bunge's defense, unless they decide to bring an outside backer.
We got a flag down on the field. You could see that John Butcher didn't like what he saw there.
Delay a game against the offense, 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Delay
First
of game.
penalty of the ball game, 5 yards. So tough in high school football because you don't have the snap clock in front of you, and you have to get in and out of your huddle. You have to do that with authority. Butcher just a junior, and that's the first mistake that either team has made via the penalty tonight. Much different than the Chicago Bears, who had 11 last week. And these are 2 high school teams,
yeah,
but 2 very well-drilled, well-coached, very disciplined high school football teams.
Yeah, those are a couple things you couldn't necessarily say about the Bears right now.
You said it.
3rd down and 10 from the 49. Butcher stumbling as he drops back, regains his composure, and finds his receiver at the 40-yard line on the catch. That's number 8. That's McGoy. 88, excuse me.
McGoy that time ran a comeback pattern. He took his man to the outside about the 35-yard line, came back to the football about the 41, made a nice diving catch to pick up some yardage and create from a 3rd and long. They have themselves a 4th and short situation.
Ball's on the 41-yard line.
Play clock a factor again right now.
You can hear the homecoming crowd get on its feet here. A big 4th down and 2 situation for the Tigers. 2 wideouts on the far side. High formation backfield with Conway and Klausing. Now they're going to split. Butcher drops back, fires right side, caught for the 1st down. And once again, on the reception, that's McGoy, and a 1st down for the Tigers. Well, it's going to be close. I'm a little premature, I guess.
McGoy leaves his feet, gets a ball above his head. It is a 1st down as they convert on a 4th down. Everybody's looking Schweiger. 3-step drop. McGoy goes and gets the ball. A nice catch that is practiced daily right there. Not in the breadbasket, but above the head. Gathers in. He knows he's going to take a hit, but he's got that great presence of mind to take the hit, but catch the football initially.
8 minutes to go in the 1st half. Tigers on the drive. 1st down and 10 from the 37.
Bucky came that time on a linebacker blitz. They brought 2 people, one from the left side, one from the inside, and he made a nice one-on-one tackle. As right now the defensive schemes for Naperville Central being very aggressive. They're bringing just about everybody, and they're bringing different people at different times, really giving some different looks to the offensive coordinator of
so many years, yet they still find the wrinkles to throw in there to keep the other team off balance. Pitch this time for Brian Schnurstein. Schnurstein gets a little bit of daylight on the right side, but isn't able to find too much yardage there. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7. Yeah, they have a solid defense all the way around, a big defensive line, huge linebackers really who can move as well, and a defensive secondary.
We talked about it on the open. They've given up 20 points. They give up 160 yards a game. I mean, those numbers do not lie after 4 games. This is one of the most vaunted defense in Illinois. That's why they are one of the highly ranked teams in Illinois, but have shown they've been vulnerable early on in the season.
Looks like
timeout
called Wheaton Warrenville South. To go in the first half. Redhawks leading at 7-0. Yeah, and as you said, they've only allowed 20 points in 4 ball games this season, and that's a darn good thing because they've struggled a little bit offensively in some of their ball games. They started off against Conant, won that ball game 9-6. Then they came out and they blew out a Libertyville school, a 42-12 final, and they struggled a little bit again against Glenbard East. That was a 15-8 final. Then they blow out West Chicago. So they're kind of trying to find their niche a little bit.
Yeah, and Glenbard East is kind of the mystery team, if you will, in the DVC. Played Naperville North tough last week, Naperville Central the week before, and I know Andy Nussbaum was quoted as saying there's no doubt Glenbard East would be a playoff team, but every Friday night's a war in the DVC. You got Glenbard East, a possible playoff team. You got Wheaton South, a possible playoff team. You got West Aurora, a possible playoff team, and you got probables right now in Naperville Central and Naperville North, obviously. So the DVC could have anywhere from 2 to 5 teams still make the playoffs. The problem is every year is that they beat each other up, and that sometimes eliminates 1 or 2 of the teams.
Oh, exactly. And I tell you what, none of these teams made it easy on themselves in the preseason or in the non-conference season as well. We look at these non-conference ball games these teams have had. They have had some wars. Well, take a look at Wheaton Warrenville South. They start off 0-2. Here's Butcher under heavy pressure. He gets it off somehow. Avoids a sack on a 3rd down and 7. We got a flag down on the play, however.
Butcher was running for his life, showed pretty good speed as he got to the outside, squared his shoulders up, and threw that ball away rather than taking a loss. But Naperville Central had not 1, not 2, but 3 people coming that time, as they basically had a 7-man rush trying to force Butcher out of the pocket, which they did in a hurry, and make him throw the football before he had a time to pick up not only his primary receiver, but his secondary man. Takes some time as we sort this one out. Takes 3 of them to get the play back to the referee.
Gonna put their heads together.
Unfortunately, man downfield.
I was gonna say, I was hoping we might get to test out our new toy there. I don't know if you heard that last time. We had one of the refs mic'd here this evening. One of our new production toys we got. We don't get too many, but when we do, we like to show them off and get them into the mix as quickly as possible.
So that one should be.
We got an ineligible downfield against the offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
So it'll be 4th down and 7 now for the Tigers.
Like Christmas morning for a production team when the new equipment works,
exactly.
Right?
Well, if you had any idea how rarely it comes, believe me.
So they declined that penalty, of course, because of an incomplete pass, forcing the Tigers to punt here from their own 35.
High snap. Brian Whitcanack able to get a hold of it. It gets off a booming punt all the way down to the 5-yard line. Takes a great bounce. Tigers will down it.
They spotted the 1.
They spotted at the 1. I tell you what a great job. And who's there but Nate Kolbaba, leading the special teams as well as the defense. And another big break. I tell you what, Brian Whitcanack, a great job. Just let's take a look at the replay here. You can see a high snap, but somehow gets a hold of it and just gets off a huge punt.
He makes a Willie Mays catch basically over his shoulder to field that punt cleanly, and then still has a presence of mind to stay with his form, stay with his kick. And as you mentioned, I thought that one was going to go deep in the end zone and bounce back in the favor of Wheaton South, and they got to get a 3 and out right here, and they're in good shape.
6:13 to go. Redhawks on top by a touchdown. Handoff up the middle, not much there. And after Naperville Central started off, they had a couple of quick drives early and scored on one, as we said. But since then, the Tigers have been stiffening up a little bit on defense.
Well, they go right back to the inside, not using any kind of depth there and forcing any kind of safety, trying to run over big number 70. That would be Ben DeVee, 6'3", a junior, who has made that block trying to free number 20, Joe Sharambulo.
One wide out on the far side is Blake Allen. Give to Johnson again, and he's met right at the line of scrimmage and taken down. The ball is loose, and it looks like the Tigers do have it. Wheaton Warrenville South football.
I'm not sure, but I think it was number 13 that came up with that one. Eric Aster, the defensive back. Eric Aster is the one, number 13, who fell on that football. I don't know who got the initial hit on the inside, but it was about 3 or 4, boom, boom, boom. It looked like a pinball wrapping up DJ Johnson that time, and Aster was right there to recover.
And Ron Muhich has to be happy with the way that his defense has come together this season. Let's take another look at it here. You can't see much. Jerseys all over the place. There's a free ball. And Eric Aster was the one who came up with it. Also right there for the Tigers was Doug Rogers. So they get it back, first down and goal from the 5.
Tigers set right now playing smash mouth football. They're going to try to run it.
Future fires over the middle, and it's caught for the touchdown by John Schweigert.
Well, they set up the run. They had everybody in tight except for Schweigert. He ran a quick post pattern. Everybody's guessing run, including me, but that's why I'm up here. And a nice quick slant in, a well-delivered ball, a touchdown pass to Schweigert, his night.
We had a great angle looking at it up here from the press box. Take another look at it. Look how tight this is. He just threads the needle. There were raised arms all over the place, white jerseys, but a great pass and catch. That's number 9 for Schweigert. Number 12 thrown by Butcher.
He had DJ Johnson one-on-one. Took him one step to the outside, busted across the middle, and a well-thrown ball after the slip of the foot. And we have a chance for a tie ball game.
Tell you what, Coach, we've seen a few players slipping out here tonight. It seems that field might have some dew on it. Here's the kick, splitting the uprights for the Tigers. Number 14, Scott Gorilla, and the ball game is tied at 7-all with 5.5 to go in the first half.
Well, quality football teams are able to convert on special teams. We mentioned that earlier about field position, and then take turnovers inside the red zone and turn them into 7 points. Wheaton South just did all 3 of those things.
Yeah, and as you said, they really threw some people off with that quick slant. Pretty gutsy play there. Now we can take one more look at it here. First and goal, and Butcher delivers a bullet right on the money for Schweigert. A familiar scene for the Tigers. I think at first they were a little slow to want to go to that all the time. You get another ground cam look at it, but now they're more than willing to exploit that combination as much as they can. Back deep for the Red Hawks are Nick Tolbert and Eric Axelson. Kicking off for the Tigers is Brad Klausing. 5:29 to go in the first half. Tie ball game at 7 apiece.
So Eric Aster's fumble recovery sets up a one-play, 5-yard scoring drive. John Schweigert, a 5-yard touchdown reception, his 9th from John Butcher. And Scott Gorell's kick ties things up at 7-7 at the 5:29 mark of quarter number 2.
Here's Klausing's kick. Not a bad one. It's going to be taken by one of the upbacks at the 15. Hey, what happened here?
They got his knee down on the catch. A well thought out call by the official, because I was wondering what was going on at first too. Once the knee goes down in high school football, you can't advance it. So inside the 20 as Naperville Central start its offense, and they need to get DJ Johnson the football mega times in this drive if they're going to get anywhere.
He's been very successful every time he's touched the ball.
You know, sometimes you hear the cliche, going to the well too much. I don't think you can go to the well with DJ Johnson too much.
Absolutely not. They just need to get a solid drive here to finish out the first half. Pearson rolling out left. He fires left side, and it looks like it's caught at the 32 by Blake Allen. That was a great pass right there, going across his body.
They come out, Blake Allen, and he has Jack Christie one-on-one on the outside, and a well-thrown ball by Christian Pearson on first down. From their own 15-yard line, they come out very aggressively and convert with a well-thrown ball by the junior quarterback.
Pearson throws it on a rope over there, and a good catch from Allen. Excuse me, it's 1st and 10 from the 30 now.
Christian Pearson, a senior, my apologies.
Joe Shermbolo, and he's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage and taken down for a loss by the Tigers. Jim Dietz, the man who stopped him.
There's not too many times that Sharon Bulo takes tackles for loss. He's usually a north-south type runner, bruising type runner, and normally a fullback with his size, stature, and strength. He's at least able to get some kind of forward progress, but Dietz that time makes a great surge into the offensive line, stays low, fights off his block, and forces the play back for a loss of 2.
2nd and 12. Give to Shirimbolo again. He's going to try and dance around, but the Tigers swarm him and bring him down back at the 26 for a loss of another 2. Shirimbolo looked like he was a little out of his element there. The Tigers were all over him. He tried to get a little happy feet, but there was nothing for him to do. Brings up a 3rd and 12.
Devin Wing, Brandon Ferrari in the stop right there as a double teaming right there and gets some help even later on from another Bill Engelhardt. So 3 different people on the stop that time for Wheaton Warrenville South.
4 minutes remaining in the first half. 3 wideouts on the near side on 3rd and 13. Pearson rolling out left again. He's going to try to take it himself. He's tripped up back at the 29, which will bring up a 4th down and 10, and the Redhawks will be forced to punt.
That old man momentum is right now starting to change a little bit as far as Wheaton South. On that particular play, Christian Pearson did indeed have some time to throw the football. The key was the DBs for Wheaton South had the offensive receivers blanketed for Naperville Central. Pearson had to go ahead and eat that football. Takes a very short gain, and Naperville Central will have to punt for the 2nd consecutive time with sandwich between that fumble.
Schneerstein back deep to receive. Not much of a punt here from Naperville Central. Taken at the 35-yard line, and he immediately goes down. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back with the Jones Space Link Game of the Week. From their 35-yard line, 3 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the first half. Give this time is to Schneerstein again. Hits the hole pretty quickly, but he's immediately stopped at the 37-yard line.
Tell you what, there's some big-time popping going on down there.
Oh, yeah.
These are 2 football teams that we talked about well-coached. When you think of well-coached, you think about X's and O's and play selection, but well-coached gets right down to the fundamentals of blocking and tackling, and these 2 teams both know how to hit each other.
Absolutely, and how many, you think we've only seen a couple of penalties, delay-of-game penalties in this ball game. Not going to see many between these 2 teams. They're so disciplined. 2nd down and 8 as Butcher rolls out. He's under pressure, and he's taken down back around the 30-yard line.
I think it might have been big number 57 chasing him down. Jim Yonker from the backside. Pretty good job with pressure. 51, Dan Kopp also helping out from the line position. Timeout Naperville Central, I believe.
Take another look at it here, and Butcher has avoided the pressure well tonight, but couldn't get away from it there. We got a timeout called by Naperville Central. 2:23 remaining in the 2nd quarter. Ball game knotted up at 7 apiece.
Probably what we expected. You know, a lower scoring, defensive oriented game. We thought that we might see a couple touchdown passes in the air from Wheaton South. We've seen one. We thought we'd see some great defense from Naperville Central. We've seen that, and we thought we'd see some good running in Naperville Central with DJ Johnson early. Looked like they were ready to really own the line of scrimmage, own the battle of the trenches, but Wheaton South now putting 7-8 people up at the line of scrimmage and kind of negating that running game, although Christian Pearson had a very good 1st down pass on the last drive, and then they snuffed the run on 3 straight plays after that.
I'll tell you what, we had an opportunity to talk to Coach Joe Bungie from Naperville Central just about the psyche of his team, and if they were feeling the pressure being ranked number 1, this is what he had to say.
They want to win every game that they play. There's no question about it, and it's a team that in no way thinks it's theirs to have. They believe for anything that they're going to get, they're going to have to earn it, and we've already seen that when we have played Glenbard East and Conant, who have really played us tough. 2 good football teams, and they know that when we play a game, we got to play hard, we got to prepare hard, and they're not afraid to work at it, and they have goals and dreams like everybody else, and a lot of the other teams in the state of Illinois have dreams of going down to Normal and playing and winning that game, and we're no different than anybody else. We're pretty much ordinary people that are going to play the game, and we're just going to try as hard as we can and hope things work out for us.
Well, they may be ordinary people, but they've played some pretty extraordinary football this season already. 4-0, as we said, 2-0 obviously in the DVC, and they brought up a 4th down and long situation here for the Tigers.
Naperville Central with that sack on 6 yards, or a tackle for loss of 6 yards on the draw play on the previous play during Coach Bunge's interview, sets up this 4th and long. They use another timeout with 2:11 to go before half. Obviously thinking offense right now, knowing they're going to get the ball in pretty good field position, try to get some kind of offense, even if it's at field goal range. Here in the first half, they'll have a chance for Christian Pearson and company to come out and run the 2-minute offense.
Take a look at the crowd there, and think of the crowds we see for crosstown ball games. Just about every night here at Wheaton Warrenville South, they got a good crowd on hand.
Yeah, Wheaton Warrenville South, Naperville Central, Naperville Central, Naperville North, Naperville North, Wheaton South. You pick those 3, and you're talking about thousands of people every time.
Now the Tigers will be punting from deep in their own territory. Whitconnect bobbles the ball. Oh, he's in trouble. Taken down back around the 10-yard line. And a crucial mistake there for the Tigers. Going to set the Redhawks up right on the goal line, about 10 yards out from the goal line, with an opportunity to get the go-ahead once again.
Well, that's why they stopped the clock. They got 2 minutes and 3 seconds. So all of a sudden where the ball's at is not, the clock is not a factor.
I tell you what, Brian Whitconnect, that was right in his hand.
Just didn't look that one in. Much different than his other one that he saved.
Yeah, maybe it's a little better if it's over his head. That's too bad, because Redhawks have been putting the pressure on him tonight, and you can see he was thinking about getting that one off. DJ Johnson on the run, dances away from a couple of tacklers, finds his way down to the 9-yard line for a gain of 4.
Kobaba wraps him up. DJ Johnson started that one off the left side, cuts it back against the grain to the right side, shows that quick burst of speed. Picks up about 4. Looked like he might get more, but Kobaba, just with great fundamental tackle there, one-on-one, pulls him down. He might have gotten all the way into the end zone had it not been for Kobaba's stop.
Got a minute and a half to go. 2nd down and 6 from the 10-yard line. Flag down on the play. Pearson goes to the end zone. It's intercepted by Eric Aster, but we do have flags down all over the field.
Aster with a great play. We'll see if it holds. The ball comes out to the 20. Officials sorting it out right now.
We got an illegal shift by the offense.
The offense.
Penalties declined. It's a touchback. First down this way.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Coach, Eric Aster is having himself one whale of a ball game tonight.
Yeah, Aster was the one that recovered the fumble at the 5-yard line that set their touchdown. Now he does a great job in coverage here on the outside, as we have a 3-step drop and a nice pass in the end zone, but Aster cuts right in front of a receiver. Triple coverage for Wheaton Warrenville South on the backside, and they avert a score after they turned it over on their 13. Naperville Central turns it right back over. If I'm Wheaton South right now, I'm 7-7, deep in my own territory. I'm going to run 3 and out and get to the end, get the halftime locker room tied.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we saw St. Charles. I wish they had an opportunity to take that ball game back last week. About a minute and a half to go in the ball game. Well, Butcher will go to the air. Slings it off the right side, intended for Schweigart. It's incomplete.
See, the one thing that you're risking now, you got 2 schools of thought. If you're John Thorne, you want to stay aggressive. You want to try to have your team know that they can put points on the board with a minute 30 to go. But the other thing is, if you think on the negative side, 1 or 2 incomplete passes, the clock goes nowhere. Naperville Central, I believe, has 1 timeout left, and all of a sudden you could have to punt inside your own 20 again and give the ball back to Naperville Central with, a minute to go.
Yeah, you got to feel that the Tigers' defense has kind of been taming the beast a little bit here, but the Red Hawk offense could explode at any moment. Want to keep them off the field as long as possible. It's a give on a draw play here. I think that was Schneerstein on the carry. Nothing doing. The clock is running with a minute 14 to go.
Bucky just lays him down one-on-one, puts him to the turf, puts his fist in the air, a little bit of a joyous celebration.
Going to bring up a 3rd and 10.
They went double tight end on that play with just a single back, so they had a spread offense as far as the wideouts. They had the double tight end for blocking up front, but there was no seam at all. It was actually a loss of 1.
Yeah, they call it a 3rd and 12 now. They called it 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12 now from the 18. 45 seconds to go. Butcher back to pass, under pressure, finds Schweigart, but it's in and out of his hands, and there were bodies flying all over the place on that play.
And there's that punt situation we talked about right there. So Naperville Central is going to get their hands on the football one more time, and once again in decent field position.
You could see this one, Schweigart, got labeled by his own man.
And that was a screen that was set up, a split end screen, and they actually had about 2 or 3 offensive linemen downfield, so they could have been penalized for that at the same time if that play had developed.
Well, here's Whitconnect punting from about his own 4-yard line. It's a low snap. He gets it off, however, another spiral down to the 45-yard line. That's where the Redhawks will take it to the 40, down to the 39-yard line. On the return is Nate Davis. So they will have it at on the 37-yard line, 28.5 seconds to go. They'll put it at the 36, excuse me.
Well, how many times have we called Kobaba's name tonight in the first half already? We talked about him at the open, and right now he has just been leading this defensive charge. You know, Sharon Bulow gets a lot of the defensive credit for Naperville Central, and Kobaba's, hey, I want my name called a few times. Tolbert with just a post pattern right there, just a fly. Almost in stride. Did Pearson have him, but just about 2 to 3 yards overthrown. He's going to have a couple more shots at it, though, with 22.3 seconds to go.
It almost seems as though Tolbert stays with his man, and then at the last second will adjust to that football. He's got an extra
overdrive.
Burst. Yeah, he's got an extra speed that some of those defensive backs for the Tigers just don't have. On the coverage there, Ryan McGuire doing a good job, but 22.3 to go in the first half. Second down and 10 from the 36. Pearson to throw again, this time left side for Allen, and it's caught at about the 10-yard line, and he's knocked out of bounds. 14.7 seconds to go. The Red Hawk offense is on the move.
They got to get up and spike this one. That's what they'll do, just kill the clock. The clock does not start until the chains are set. You'll see Pearson, I think, throw this one right into the ground.
They're just about to get it started again here. And it is, and he's a long snap count. They're going to run it. Down to 8 seconds to go. He slings it off left side for the end zone for DJ Johnson. Caught! Touchdown, or excuse me, that may be Tolbert.
It was Tolbert.
No, it is, yeah, you're right, it is Tolbert.
What great execution by Naperville Central. I thought that they would take the ball, throw it in the turf, and set up the defense. They have practiced that 2-minute drill many times over, you can tell that. And that play was predetermined before they got the line of scrimmage or called right there in that few seconds that he had, and he threw that ball right on the outer part of the end zone to Tolbert, who made a nice leaping catch.
What a throw. Couldn't have been put in a better spot on the defense was Jack Christie, and he was in good position, but right over his outstretched arms. On for the extra point is John Adcock. It's up and good. Well, Coach, you were right on the money talking about the fact that Tigers should have just killed that clock. They went for a few passing plays. They're going to be thinking about that one later on tonight. And the Redhawks proved how explosive they can be by coming right down and scoring a quick 7.
Well, they got that football back with 28.5 seconds from their own 36-yard line. They hit a 25-yard pass and a 10-yard pass, and that's how quickly they can score. Very explosive. Kristen Pearson with an excellent pass. He got his defender turned around. That was Jack Christie. And Christie made the big mistake that you cannot make as a defensive back, and that is he never did see the football. He was playing Tolbert the man rather than the football. Didn't really have an eye on where the football was coming from, and an excellent catch, and a pumped-up Tolbert comes off the field with his fist in the air.
That was just a great pass play. There's no doubt about it. Pearson, we've seen him throw some ill-advised passes, and we've seen him throw some passes right on the money here tonight, and that one couldn't have been thrown any better. 14-7, just 4.4 seconds remaining on the first half clock. I want to remind you to stick around for our first half scoring summary, as well as an interview with one of our good friends from Mid-America Centers for Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Dr. Haitham Shadid will be with us. Talk about injuries, preventing them, as well as maybe how to deal with them once you are injured.
Kind of think you'll see a squib kick right here to negate any kind of Wheaton South run back.
Keith Adamson is kicking off for the Redhawks. And right you are, Coach. And it's in and out of the arm, so one of the Tiger up men at the 50-yard line. 0.1 seconds remain on the clock. And it's going to be a Red Hawk football with 1/10 of a second to go in the first half.
Well, that has all the makings, if you will, of an onside kick. That was not the intention. The intention by Joe Bungie was just to negate any Wheaton Warrenville South run back. He got that and one better, because Wheaton South, had they covered that, I think would have started the football. If you're Joe Bungie, obviously you have one or two choices. Take a knee and get to halftime, or go ahead and throw one up and see if you get a penalty on the last play of the half, which of course would give them another snap. Well, to the right, they're going to Hail Mary it over down here to this side.
What a lineup. They have Allen, Tolbert, and Johnson on the near side. Time expired. Pearson will heave it deep, and what an arm he has. He throws it up. Eric Aster knocks it down, however. It makes it academic, but we head to halftime. The Tigers have held firm behind the play of this young defensive back, Eric Aster, a great job. And the Tigers head to halftime, down, however, 14-7. They bent, but they haven't quite broken. We'll be back with our first half scoring summary, as well as an interview with Dr. Hyman Shadid right after this.